Welcome to part 2 of Tomcat's cool toy collection, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles edition. So funny story, back in the early 2000s, I was a kid. We were having a garage sale at my mom's house and I was trying to get rid of toys. I was selling my Ninja Turtle figures, and then as I'm selling these figures, I'm looking at them and I'm like getting nostalgic even back then. Like, oh, these are pretty cool, you know, maybe I don't want to get rid of them, but they were gone, so I took the money and then I went to KB Toys and I bought the 1998 reissue Turtle figures. Ironic, but it was fun, it was worth it. Let's see what else we got going here. So I think this Rocksteady's busted. He's got a nice mean look on his face, his eyes. Well, that one's all swollen, that's why it's all purple. A bandage, which is pretty common. So I think their heads are supposed to stay down, and when they get punched in the chest, that's when their heads are supposed to pop up. He's got these things in the back. I'm not sure. I know they had a cool Rock'em Bop'em Robots version with, I think it was Leo and Shredder. I kind of want to get my claws on, but yeah, this guy was interesting. I had this one as a kid. I don't know if I got it from a garage sale. I feel like my grandma Ema, got it for me when I was real little. Don't know if it was from the store or a garage sale, though, that I originally had it. And the one I originally had was Filthy Dirty. He was, like, really beat up. This one I got somewhat recently from another collector fan off the Interspider-Web. Yeah, I always thought he was a pretty cool one. Just good color combination, and it's got sentimental value to me. I remember playing with it on the sidewalk, the backyard in the summer with like the hose, you know, because he's a firefighter. Worm. This is, I think, one of the coolest turtle figures too. His mouth moves. He's got, you know, his eyes bug out. Like that's pretty rad. Just, you know, the detail again. Unsanitation department. It's got, like, you know, a tentacle for a leg and then a regular leg here. Some pretty cool gnarly fingers. Some bugs peeking through his back there. Yeah, one of the coolest turtle figures in my opinion. Then this is actually a reissue. Actually, this is a combination reissue of the, you know, the Mutant module. I had an old one. Actually, I don't know if I sold it or not. But this piece I actually kept. This is from 1990. The rest of it's new. And then these bottom parts here, I kept the originals for that because I wanted it to be kind of vintage, but you know, it's a lot cheaper to go buy a new one and shell out the money for the original complete. Here's a closer look at the Mutant module. Pretty cool. It spins. I think this is, I don't know if this is the newer one or original. The piece there. Love how vibrant, bright orange these are. A lot of detail, a lot of little parts. Got all these missiles, you got these little drills. Love how clear the plastic is. Look in there. Shredder behind the controls. You got this turret gun. Yeah, very cool figure. Yeah, you can see on here, Mirage Studios, 1990. Yeah, that's one of my favorite vehicles as well. They had some cool vehicles.
Alright, so these movie figures, I definitely had a lot of these. These are some of my favorites too, just because, again, it's nostalgic, but they're just really cool too. So I remember when the second one came out, on tape anyway, my dad got a copy of it, bought it, and I would watch it all the time. I remember sitting in front of the TV at his house, eating Peter Pan peanut butter out of the jar with a blue transparent plastic knife. Just having the time of my life. This is a car that came with like the Stretch Armstrong version of the Shredder. I think I also used to have Raph or Mikey, but they exploded. I got this from KB Toys in the late 90s. Or no, I got it from Big Lots with my grandparents. We'd go out to eat, and then I found it there. But back to when these guys originally came out, when I was real little. I think my dad got me Splinter from Toys R Us, and this is still one of my favorites. He's like the movie version. He's got the flocked fur, so he's nice and fuzzy. I really got to get him his belt so he doesn't look so naked. He's got this cool, you know, his tail's cool, his feet are cool, the detail on it's, again, great. Yeah. Just a fun figure. I can still remember the smell of these, like, brand new out of the package. They don't really smell like that anymore, unfortunately. I mean, it was probably hazardous chemicals, but, you know, that's childhood nostalgia of consumerism for you. Yeah, this Splinter, I got this from my friend Joseph Osif. He's a really good songwriter up at his comic book shop, Comic Culture. I can't think of the city. Up north. Foot Soldier from the movie. I guess they were actually wearing black in the movies, but because of the figure, I always thought they were just really dark green. Very articulate. Well, maybe not super articulate, but articulate enough. A lot of memories playing with this guy. This isn't the one I had growing up, but I don't think any of these are except for Toka. Super Shredder. So I got two of these. This one, his armor was coming off, and I tried to super glue it on, and the super glue leaked, and now his arm doesn't move. I added this cape. This is a cape from Jack the Ripper from The Last Action Hero, but just the material, the size, and the shine just looks perfect for Super Shredder. Super Shredder's body is also recycled off of the Wacky Shredder, which it doesn't make sense, you know. Super Shredder should be huge, and he's the same size as the Turtles. Forgetting who's who, Toka and Razor, but he's pretty cool. They have different versions I've seen with color palettes. I don't know if his armor is gonna come off his stomach, but as a kid I used to like to, yeah, pull his armor off. I thought it was cool that it would go on and off like that. Still think it's kind of cool. Recycled weapon from Slash. Again, great detail. Look at all the armor there. He would have been a tough one to make flocked like Splinter, though. Oops, there goes his weapon. He's got his cool shield here. Rest in peace, Turtles. Yeah, so here's a color variant too. So this one with the red permanent marker, that's the one I had as a kid. And even besides the marker, you can tell this one's darker, this one's lighter colors palette. The shells are, this is more of like a yellow brown, this is more of a flat dull brown. And yeah, I was trying to make them look all bloodied up, so I took a red marker and you know, as a boy, so I had a habit of destroying, if not mutilating, my figures, and this guy fortunately just got the Sharpie, or permanent marker. So, holding on to that one. But I got two. Good thing they're two different color shades. Movie on VHS. Gotta have it. One of the best movies of all time. Still have that, you know, song with the baseball minor league and the, you know, the Pizza Hut commercial and the credits. As a kid, I definitely liked the second one better. As an adult, I like the first one better. I never even noticed that in the second one they didn't really use their weapons due to complaints. And as a kid, I didn't really care for Casey Jones that much, but, you know, as an adult, he's one of my favorites. Here's another Shredder, Super Shredder. You can actually move his limbs. He's got all his armor, too. His paint's kind of chipped off his hand. I remember that happening. The original one I had, his hand was almost all purple from sliding weapons in and out. And I always thought it was interesting, too. He comes with this, what he has in the cartoon, this, you know, now we just call it, you know, FaceTime or whatever. But, you know, that's how he would talk to Krang and people on the Technodrome in the cartoon. Didn't really have it in the movie, but the movie figure came with it. I think these are from the movie, too. Canister of ooze. This, like, skull-looking weapon. Satoka Razor. Also kind of reminds me of The Last Action Hero. Oh, and this one's cool. It's like a grappling hook, but like a spider. I forget what this is supposed to hook into. Something. And then we get the turtles, which are so fucking cool. They got the rubbery feel. They suck with standing up, but, you know, they got really cool shells or belts. Like, he's got some wacky weapons here. The bandanas were awesome. Yeah, I just love the rubbery turtle feel. The detail of the skin there is so cool. They got the spots. Very awesome. Here's one of his shields. It's like metal, but a pizza box, so you figure it out. Raph actually has his weapons too. Doesn't have his bandana though. That was the problem with these. Those always came out, and the paint definitely chipped away very easily on these, but kind of makes it look like, you know, added battle scars. So I love these guys. They don't smell like they used to. Leo. I think Leo's the only one I have with his bandana intact. He's got a sword. He's got this shield. I don't think this sword actually goes to him. This is a different type of sword. Yeah, very cool. I always thought it was cool, like his yellow-black spots on him. And, you know, of course, again, my favorite, Donnie. I had an extra Leo bandana tail, so I gave him that. Someday maybe I'll get the missing pieces. Some wacky weapons. Mutant extinguisher. Bat like he has in the toy store at the mall in the opening. Secret of the Ooze. Yeah. Yeah, so movie turtles are awesome. It's too bad they never made them for the first film. It would have been really cool to have an original Casey Jones. They should have made an April O'Neil too. Paige Turco version from the second one would have been cool. Professor would have been cool. A lot of guys they could have done that they didn't do. Here's some of the movie star turtles. The re-releases. The originals came with much more interesting, diverse accessories and weapons, but you know, I didn't have money to buy originals with how much they cost now. But yeah, I remember being a kid and looking at how cool these little film strips are, the way they show pieces from the movie, and thinking that was real cool. The artwork's awesome. There's Donnie. Yeah, they would come with like their wacky weapons. I wish they weren't so lazy. I mean, I guess they couldn't find the molds maybe, or who knows. The back of the packaging is way different too. I love the film strip stuff like that. That's very cool. It's bodacious. Bossa Nova. Yeah, before Turtles were part of Nickelodeon. Yeah, the back of the packages were more interesting on the originals too, but these look cool from the front. Someday.
Turtle figures I wish they would have made back in the day. Of course, there's like the newer NECA or Super 7 editions for the movie figures, but it'd be really cool to have that, you know, original feel of the figures for the... I always wanted a April O'Neil movie version, Casey Jones, Tatsu, and who else would be cool? Vanilla Ice, that would have been interesting. And Kino, pizza delivery guy, would have been cool. He could have come with some pizzas that come out of little boxes you could use as weapons or something, but you know, they never did it. They got the newer versions, which are cool, but they don't really blend in well with the old school originals. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in Inside Out. Subscribe if you're into checking out more weird figures and collectibles and punk rock or short films and all their absurdities. Tomcat out.
Toon Turtles, Turtle Toons. So, alright, so this might be my favorite Shredder of all time, or at least it was when I was a kid. Same thing as the original, they just painted him different. They gave him a shirt, so they painted his torso gray, and they made his armor silver. Same cape, they made his weapons red. I got this one for $50 off eBay a few years back. But I originally got it from my dad again, Toys R Us. I remember the packaging, I remember opening them up, being super, super excited, and, you know, just being totally in awe and enamored with how cool Toon Shredder was. Not that he was that much different from original Shredder, but big deal to me. Still think he's one of the coolest. Something about that gray with the purple. Now that I think of it, I guess it makes sense. I've been doing purple and gray mixture on my Cadillac. I'll blame it on Toon Shredder now. Whoa, look at these guys. Alright, this one's maybe my favorite. Actually, this is a reissue Mikey as well, but I think I had the original, I'm not sure. He's very similar to Lasher from Masters of the Universe with the tongue sticking out. So I might just be thinking of Lasher from my childhood. But, yeah. Very cool. Yeah, you can tell the reissues are more, a little more metallic looking, shinier, sparklier with their bandanas and stuff. And we got Toon Donnie here. His bandana spins around. I think I had him as a kid. I'm not sure. Oops, there he goes. He's got his turtle comm. See who he's talking to on it. You know it. He's talking to April. Looking at the artwork, it almost makes me wonder if it's the original. It says 92, so this is original. So that's a cool one. Yeah, they made it more friendly looking, like in the cartoon. You know, they don't have like the mean eyes. They got the cartoony eyes. Pizza accessory that Michelangelo Toon comes with, where it's like a pizza in a razor. Head spinning Raph, Toon Raph. Pretty neat. I think I had Leo as a kid too. Oh, shit. Another cool eye bugging one. Whoa! I feel like that would have made more sense for Michelangelo. The tongue makes sense for him too, but you know, it's just something wacky. Then they had these cool TVs that, like, you know, the images would change on them. There's Leo fighting with his sword, his red sword. Actually, it looks like it changes color even. Donnie's TV. Come on, focus. This was so cool back in the day. I mean, it's still cool to me. iPads are stupid, kids. Get holographic, tiny, hollow turtle TVs. And I got the one for Vern. I don't have the Vern figure, but... And then the reissue for Mikey, you know, because things aren't cool anymore. It's just a sticker of them eating pizza, which is still cool, but, you know. I want a holographic card. Holographic TV, damn it. Zach, one of the teenagers from Dimension X. Pretty cool. I would like to get all these. Some of them get pricey, but... He's got his hoverboard, which also kind of looks like a boom box, but... You know, he's a cool looking cat. Then we got the Wacky Turtles. So this was the Rocksteady I had as a kid in the 90s. So I remember you could wind him up here on the side. His winder had like a little army bag thing, and his hand, you know, does this. Supposed to have a machine gun. Machine gun and Rocksteady. That's what they called them. Here, kids, machine gun and Rocksteady. But hey, it wasn't our generation to go doing these stupid, you know, shootings. Maybe because kids didn't get toys to get it out with. Here's the Wacky Action Leo. He's got very cool weapons that don't make much sense, but are still cool. Yeah, you can wind him up too. He's got a similar... I think they all have the same type of winder on these ones. Does he work anymore? Oh, he's supposed to have his whip there. Keeps hitting his leg with the sword. Wonder if I can... Nope. There we go. And he winds up for the pitch. Pretty cool. The other thing I like about these wacky ones, they're kind of like the Toons because they got the pupils, but they still got kind of like, you know, somewhat menacing eyes. They're not totally cheesy. So I think this is the one that spins on his shell. Oh, this is the one that doesn't do anything because he's broken. Or his belt's in the way. Yeah, the belt's in the way. So you gotta take his belt off. And then he'll spin on the ground like this. Yeah, just like this. Look at him go. Hey, it kind of still works. Not bad for, you know, a toy that's over 30 years old. And then Donnie here is supposed to go in water. I had another version where he had broken legs, but, you know, there's the same winder. Raph may be the only exception. But, you know, you go like that and his feet even bend back. And he goes swimming through the water. And of course, I don't have his nunchucks again, but similar to Leo, except it's more of his wrist spinning. Sticking his tongue out again, but it stays out. Then here's the wacky Shredder. I made him a custom cape as well when I was a kid. So I'd like to get one where he actually has the armor that spins around. Same body as the Super Shredder. If you pull all Super Shredder's armor off, you know, it's the same. They got the same... I don't know why they have, like, bandages for a shirt. I guess that's what it looked like in the original comic, sort of. Then they have these, like, skirt capes. I think that was their way of being like, oh, we don't need to make a cape. They have this back sash thing, which... No, you still need the cape, damn it. But I always thought this was a cool head sculpt. I think this is the only time you see this head sculpt for Shredder. I feel like that's more like the cartoon, and I'm not sure why they wouldn't have used that for the Toon version of Shredder. Maybe it just wouldn't fit on the other body as well. So there's the wacky action turtles I got. All of them except for Splinter, I believe. Metalhead, another popular, awesome turtle that is pretty cool. You know, he's got the metallic body. He's got this cool backpack with the radar thing on it. Just like the 1994 Shadow from Kenner. You know, his eyes glow and stuff from his brain. It's cool that they gave him like a brain too. I always thought he was a good guy as a kid, but Shredder created him. I can't really remember what happens in the show. I think this guy's name is the Killer of Metalhead. Aso Duck. He's cool. He's got the you know, the hat that comes off. He's got these like duck bomb, these egg bomb belt. A belt with egg bombs. It's an egg. It's an egg bomb. These eggs are the bomb. His hat comes off. Doesn't want to go back on. Yeah, he's a pretty cool figure. He's got the big wings. You can make him kind of flap around. Alright, we got a lot of turtles crammed on this shelf. A lot of cool, totally radical turtles, dude. So, this is like one of my favorites too, that like I totally had as a kid. Again, I remember like playing with it at my grandma's house, so like maybe she got me one. I don't know if it was like the store or a garage sale, but always fun to play with in the, you know, the sink full of water, or like, you know, outside with the hose or in a pool. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites is this Mikey. I don't know what you call him, Surfing Mikey. Here's the Cheapskate with a regular Leo. Is that a soft head? No. Cheapskate's pretty cool. It's got the fan on the back. Alright, how are we gonna do all these without knocking everything over? These are some of my favorites here too. I even got the comic of him right here. He looks cooler as a figure for sure. Worm's also in the comic, which looks cooler as a figure. Turtle movie. Coming March 30th, 1990. I wasn't even one yet. Yeah, he's cool. He comes with like these little insects. This one might be from Toxic Crusaders, but I think that's supposed to go into his back there, unless he's missing a piece. Maybe it goes here. And we got Mutagen Man here, which is really cool. My friend Mike told me, I guess you could fill him up with slime, which I didn't know. I didn't have this as a kid, I didn't know it existed, but I just love how transparent it is. through his torso. You can see all his organs in there. And he's got some cool, weird looking, you know, arms and legs with his muscles showing and stuff. He's got the eyeballs in there. This turtle sub, I had this since I was a kid. It's a pretty cool one. Used to play with that in the pool a lot. Little sidekick guy. Love that he comes on the sewer. He's got one foot on the sewer. The shield. All that cool, gruesome detail. I don't know if there was supposed to be something that goes through him or what, but you know, it's cool that he's got a hole going through him. Ah, obviously he had something that goes there. Pizza Face, another one of the really cool, grotesque characters. Ninja Pizza. Oh, the cool thing about this guy was, cool thing about Pizza Face, you know, he's missing a leg, and you can pull this leg out like that, and you can take his meat cleaver, he uses as a weapon, and also, you know, use it as a leg. You know, the cool things, he's got this knife which should have been painted, and in his apron he's got some blood, ketchup, mustard, guacamole, or just, you know, gross green foam and bacteria carved into his arm there. He's got a mom tattoo, and you know, he's armed with his other ingredients and things. What's that say on there? I can't read that. I don't know if you guys can read this on the green. Yeah, Pizza Face, totally cool, disgusting, awesome figure. And then you got this, I think this was one of the Foots things here. Almost looks like it's lighting up red on there. It's incomplete, but pretty cool. These are pizza things, turtle pizzas that came with Pizza Face. And I know this is meant for Raphael, but, you know, Mikey just looks cool in there. He's got the little bombs on there. This one I've had since I was a kid, too, this Mikey. Don't know if my dad or grandma or mom got it for me. But he was one of my favorites just because of nostalgic purposes. He's got his bell bottoms or sailor jeans with the weird green sea stuff stuck to it. I think they did one turtle for different branches of the military. This was the Navy. You had like the Air Force and etc. So this guy, I wish I still had the strings to make him talk. My dad got me the talking Donnie. Yeah, you stick like a, almost looks like a zip tie through these, and you pull them, and they would talk. I don't remember what they said. Yeah, I got Donnie, I got Leo. I don't know if this is the right accessory or if that goes to someone else. City Sewer on their shells. And I got Raph. I just need to get Mikey. Pretty cool. You know, he's got that angry look on him. The belts are a little bit different looking too. You know, they got some extra detail to match their, you know. Yeah, they're just straight up sewers on the back of their shells. Sewer shell talking turtles. When did these come out? Early 90s, of course. 91. I was 2. Probably got it a few years after that. Alright, so here's a look at the Turtles collector case. Got this off Marketplace. They had these collector cases for everything. Beetlejuice, Batman, The Shadow. Yeah, you know, throw your figures in there. I had some in there, but I took them out. Trying to sell them. But really cool artwork. cartoon artwork. You got the Shredder there. You got Raph on the cheapskate there. You got the Turtle Blimp. Well, no, not the Turtle Blimp, but wait, you got Michelangelo in red too. Geronimo, dudes. Yeah, they messed up the color there. They used to do that a lot. Splinter, for some reason, top of his face is white. But still pretty cool. You can see on the Mutant module box, they never fixed, you know, there they have Michelangelo in red as Raphael again. I just love the artwork. Hand-drawn. I don't know what they used to color it, if it was watercolor or what. Like on the updated ones, they don't put the kid on there because, you know, I don't want to look at some snot-nosed kid that would have been me. Yeah. Yeah, the bus I have is also the new version. Yeah, I love that artwork. That ink. It almost looks like it's probably paint, but it almost looks like it could have been colored pencil sometimes.
That's all the time we got today for this video. Tune in for the next one, part 3, coming up soon.